This kind girl's name is Younghua. She is a firefighter. Every time she is present at the scene of a fire, there will be no casualties. She is known as an extraordinary firefighter. Younghua is very kind. Even if the dogs are in a fire, she will try her best to save them. But such a kind girl is often haunted by nightmares. The strange thing is that every time when she woke up, she couldn't remember the content of the dream. Today, Younghua had another nightmare. She dreamed about ancient times. At this time, Silla was fighting with the country of Daigaya. In dream, Younghua is the daughter of General Daigaya. She helplessly watched her parents being executed. She looked at the murderer of her parents with an angry face. Silla's general was Doha. Younghua vowed to make him owe him blood for blood. From then on, Younghua began a life of revenge. She deliberately approached Doha and gradually won the opponent's trust. Finally, on a bloody moonlit night, she dealt with him with her own hands to avenge her parents. After Doha was destroyed, he became a stone tape. He stared at Younghua, who was running away with resentful eyes. He said that wherever you goes, I will definitely return to your side. Younghua desperately ran away, but was chased by Doha's men. In the end, she fell into the river and drowned. Younghua woke up from a nightmare, her whole body drenched in sweat and her heart beat very fast. This time, she still couldn't remember the nightmare she had just experienced. She sighed and decided to go see a psychologist. As soon as she finished washing her face, she had to immediately run to the fire scene. Younghua bravely rushed in to save the homeless man who was lying in the fire scene. Her colleagues immediately went in to take the homeless man out. Outside, only Younghua noticed the dog next to him. She immediately took the dog out and tried her best to revive the dog. With Younghua's efforts, the dog finally woke up. The homeless man burst into tears when he saw his only friend being rescued. He repeatedly thanked Younghua. After a hard day, Younghua was preparing to leave work. She smiled with photo of her father. She thanked her deceased father for always being by her side to protect her. On the way home, Younghua sat tiredly on the subway. Because she was so tired, she accidentally fell asleep on the monk's shoulder next to her. The monk suddenly saw a flash of red light. He didn't understand what was going on. Suddenly he saw Younghua's phone left on the train. He immediately chased after her to return the phone. Seeing Younghua's face, the monk felt a bit familiar. After Younghua thanked him and left, the monk suddenly discovered that behind Younghua there was a stone tape. He suddenly remembered this girl. When he was young, his master welcomed Younghua and her father. The monk had yin and yang eyes, so he saw the stone tape behind Younghua's back. He gave the rosary around his neck to Younghua. The master did not punish him, but also praised him for doing a great job. But if one day he met Younghua again, he would have to pretend that he didn't know her, because he was not the opponent of stone tape. The monk regained consciousness and looked at Younghua, who had gone away feeling extremely uneasy. He did not know that after saying goodbye to Younghua, stone tape had transformed into Doha's appearance. He even took advantage of her sleep to stroke her cheek. That night, Younghua had another dream. In the dream, Doha was in Younghua's arms. He fell asleep amidst her soothing singing. The next day, while Younghua was working, she welcomed the homeless man she rescued yesterday. The homeless man gave her a business card to repay the favor. The business card clearly stated the name of the entertainment company. Younghua was extremely surprised. This entertainment company is very popular in Korea. There are many famous artists in that company, of which the most famous is Juno, who is known as the nation's boyfriend. Juno, with his handsome appearance and has a large fan base. In fact, he is not popular with others. When filming commercial videos about firefighters, he is always picky. He even loudly blames the 4-year-old baby for being too heavy for him to carry. This made the baby cry on the spot. He took his title as a famous star, so he asked the director to use stunt actors to film. The reason was because the fire next to him was too hot. He was afraid there was danger. There were only a few small fires around the scene. There was basically no danger at all. Juno finished complaining and left the studio on his own. Not only that, he is also a blind lover. During filming, he fell in love with actress Yi Sol. He was eager to make his love story public. To date, Yi Sol, he neglected all his work. He blatantly went to a cafe to buying things for his lover. No matter how many eyes are on the two of them, Yi Sol is completely opposite to Juno. She does not want to make their relationship public. Juno is an international superstar, but after dating Yi Sol, discovers that the person who is always hailed as a superstar is actually just a rock. As wonderful as that is, Juno is pure and stupid, incomprehensible. The hidden meaning in Yi Sol's words, he was just trying to show off for. Yi Sol saw the rock-hard muscles on his arms. Yi-sol could only smile shyly. As expected, his mouth was his biggest weakness. Juno didn't notice anything unusual about Yi-sol. He just immersed himself in the joy of love. He clearly remembers the 300-day anniversary of dating Yi-sol. He even took a selfie in front of his advertising potter. While having fun, he learned that Yi-sol would be acting with another male actor in a historical drama. Juno immediately went to find his brother, who was a director at an entertainment company. He begged his brother to help him, won the role of Tae-ju. This really made it difficult for his brother. Unexpectedly, Juno said something he shouldn't have said. He reminded his brother of finding ways to fire the old director to get his current position. Knowing that he had said something wrong, Juno immediately stood up and left. Juno's reminder made his brother feel uneasy. He asked his trusted lawyer if this guy could find the whereabouts of director Silk. Lawyer Kyung-se is also looking for. After being released from prison, director Silk completely disappeared. They did not know that the homeless man living with the dog that Young-hwa helped was director Silk. When Juno returned home from her brother's place, he and Yi-sol celebrated 300 days of dating at home. Juno kept mentioning the story of Yi-sol acting with another male actor. Yi-sol was very upset after hearing this, but she still gently treated Juno like an elementary school student. Yi-sol couldn't stand it anymore, so she took advantage of Juno's sleep to leave a farewell message and paste it in his hair. The next day, when the manager came to Juno's house, he read that paper first. This guy shook Juno and woke him up, but accidentally discovered that Juno was unconscious. Juno was immediately taken to the hospital to check. The manager told Juno's brother about Yi-sol's proposal to break up with Juno so that Juno could complete today's photo shoot. The brother decided to talk about this with Juno later. After resting, Juno went to the fire station to film a promotional video. Young-hwa, an extraordinary firefighter, was invited to film with Juno at the beach. Juno always looked hard-working and patient in front of the camera. He seriously learned from Young-hwa how to perform CPR, but Young-hwa always had to correct his wrong movements. The reporter who had just left Juno immediately took off his clothes. He also talked to Yi-sol impatiently. He completely did not care that Young-hwa was by his side, trying to correct his wrong movements. Young-hwa angrily snatched his phone. This made Juno angry. Juno even mocked Young-hwa, said that right now they were both just pretending to pose in front of the camera, so they didn't need to be so serious. Young-hwa angrily stepped up and twisted Juno's arm back and forced him to apologize to her. Juno had to give in. The scene of the two arguing was recorded by a distant camera. Juno escaped back to the car. The manager was shocked to see the bruises on his arm. Juno was also shocked by this, but he had no idea that this was a bruise caused by a heart problem. When Juno's brother arrives at the hospital, the doctor diagnosed him with heart cancer. He could no longer have surgery. Perhaps it would be more beneficial for him to spend more time with the people he loves. His brother was extremely heartbroken. He decided to temporarily hide this news first. Then he ordered his subordinates to spread rumors about actor Nam Tae-ju. The purpose was to help Juno get the main role in the historical drama. At this time, Juno suddenly felt unwell and fainted directly in the car. Unconsciously, he pressed the accelerator and rushed towards the beach. Young-hwa in the distance happened to see this scene. She quickly jumping into the sea to save him. Young-hwa risked her life to break the car window and pull Juno out of the car, but when she was about to leave, she accidentally got stuck in the seat of the car. Young-hwa struggled in despair. Finally, she also escaped the car but passed out due to running out of oxygen. Suddenly, Do-ha appeared and kissed her. Scenes of two lovers in their past lives appeared in Do-ha's mind. The next second, Young-hwa suddenly woke up. She tried her best to swim to shore. As soon as she reached the shore, she saw Juno, who had stopped breathing, lying above. After trying to save, she failed, and Juno was declared dead. After hearing this, Young-hwa fainted and was taken into the ambulance. Young-hwa's bloody hand accidentally touched Juno, who was being taken into the morgue. In a moment, the stone tape spirit entered Juno's body. The moment he sat up, the bruises on Juno's body due to heart disease disappeared one by one. He whispered that he had his body back. As soon as Young-hwa woke up, she was hugged by Juno. Juno's eyes were extremely cold. He picked up the knife next to him to prepare to attack her. In previous life, Do-ha was killed by the person he loved. Do-ha pulled out the knife to attack Young-hwa, but her guardian angel knocked him away. Do-ha still doesn't believe it. Juno is an international superstar. He stepped forward and prepared to kill Young-hwa again, but as soon as he got close, Young-hwa put her hand on his forehead. She asked him if he was in pain somewhere. At this time, Do-ha suddenly fainted. When waking up, the remaining memories of Juno suddenly flooded into his mind. He quickly shook his head and stood up to look for Young-hwa. But after Young-hwa recovered, she was discharged from the hospital early. He looked at Young-hwa, left with eyes full of resentment. When Doha turned around, he was surrounded by a group of fans. Only then did he realize that this body was a famous star. Countless fans were waiting at the gate of hospital to support him. Even the news reported that he was resurrected. He also successfully transformed from national boyfriend to reincarnated boyfriend. Nam Taeju was angry after seeing the news about Juno. He were forced to withdraw from filming a new drama because of an adultery scandal, and the male lead position will be taken by Juno Yi. Sol even proposed to break up. He came to find Yi Sol to hope for her return to him, but he learned that Juno's brother had used scandalous photos of both of them to threaten. The purpose was to let Yi Sol and Juno film a new movie together. Taeju was very angry. He wanted to find an opportunity to get revenge on Juno. At this time, Juno arrived at Younghwa's door. Last time he couldn't kill Younghwa, so he decided to try again. Unexpectedly, he was still pushed away by Younghwa's guardian angel. He asked what was protecting her after all. Younghwa was extremely angry. She thought he was taking revenge on her because last time she took his phone. Younghwa angrily asked him if he came here because he wanted revenge. Unexpectedly, as soon as he finished speaking, the guardian angel appeared. His brother Minho, when received the news, immediately ran over. He kept apologizing to Younghwa. Juno suffered from the sequelae of the injury caused by falling into the water, so he became obsessed with the person who saved him when he was close to death. Younghwa worked as a firefighter, so she knows quite well about psychological trauma, and she also understands Juno's actions very well. In fact, Younghwa also suffered psychological trauma when she was young. She often drew pictures of Doha and told the psychiatrist that there is always someone following her. Now the person she often dreams about is the one trying to think of ways to harm her. Doha picks up the script left by Minho and reads it. He accidentally discovers a scene in the script mentioned amulets. He suddenly remembered that many years ago a monk cast a spell on a rosary and put it on Younghwa. It turned out that the reason he couldn't destroy Younghwa was because she still kept that rosary on her body. He suddenly thought of an idea. At night, Doha couldn't sleep. Memories of his past life kept appearing in his mind. Younghwa dressed in black to assassinate but was beaten down by Doha. With just one move, looking at Younghwa's beautiful face, Doha suddenly smiled. He wanted to keep Younghwa by his side to torment her, and the bad fate between the two also started from here. The next day, Doha went to the company to ask her brother to invite Younghwa to the press conference for the new movie. When Younghwa arrived, he was in front of everyone, thanking her for risking her life to save him. This successfully made all the reporters poured towards her, paving the way for his future plans. Seeing Younghwa running away from the press conference, Doha immediately chased after her. He was only halfway there when Yi Sol stopped him. Yi Sol greeted him with an arrogant look, and she said she wanted the two of them to come back. Doha recalled Juno kneeling down to beg Yi Sol. He turned around and left in anger, leaving Yi Sol standing there alone. Younghwa had just escaped to an empty room when she suddenly saw that Doha had been here waiting for her for a long time. Younghwa angrily blamed Doha because he letting her appear in front of everyone like that. Saving people is her job. Any firefighter would do that too. That day it was just by accident, but Doha said it must have been her. If it weren't for her, he wouldn't be standing here. Younghwa thought there was a problem with Juno's head. That must be. It was post-traumatic stress disorder that had not yet healed. She understood very well, so she encouraged Juno to try to cure the disease, but she did not expect that Doha wanted her to be by his side. Younghwa was afraid and backed away, so she accidentally turned off the light switch, while Doha slowly walked towards her and turned on the light. Younghwa suddenly became confused. She quickly left this place. After returning home, she went online to check if the other party had a girlfriend, but she didn't know that Doha took her bag home while she wasn't paying attention. But Doha found no trace of the amulet, so he decided to went to investigate its origin. Then he called the manager and told him to go find out about a small temple. The assistant felt that this was of no use, so he didn't want to go. Just complaining a few words made Doha angry. Doha said that he was entangled in the curse of stone tape, and he told the assistant that Juno was really dead. He just happened to be in Juno's body. Seeing that the assistant still didn't believe it, Doha immediately controlled the flashing light with his thoughts to prove to the assistant. Only then will the assistant be afraid to agree to follow Doha's words. At this time, the monk in the temple seemed to have guessed. He told his disciple that there was about to be a visitor. The monk was very excited because the temple had not had visitors for a long time, but he unexpectedly that guest was the terrifying stone tape. Taeju was extremely angry after Doha stole his role, so he went to Doha's house to cause trouble. He thought Younghwa was an accomplice, so he was about to go find Younghwa to ask questions. As soon as he finished speaking, Doha teleported in front of him. Doha said, "I don't care what you does, but if you touch Younghwa, I will kill you, brother." Minho, after knowing that Taeju came here to cause trouble, Still, he was worried about his brother's safety, so he found a bodyguard to protect Do-ha. He glanced at it and saw Assistant Jang hiding behind the bodyguard and smiled, understanding the assistant's intentions. So Do-ha immediately stepped forward and easily knocked down the bodyguard. Assistant Jang was so scared. Then Do-ha told his brother that he would find another bodyguard himself. Younghwa did not know that the other person had targeted her. She had just attended the commendation ceremony and was also nominated to the Antarctic Scientific Base. Before coming to Antarctica to work, she and her colleagues held a party to celebrate, drinking one glass of wine after another, but because she drank too much, Younghwa's head became dizzy. She stared blankly at Juno's photo on the wall. Unexpectedly, as soon as she turned around, she saw Do-ha standing right in front of her. Do-ha said he wanted her to be his bodyguard and wants her to be by his side at all times and everywhere to help him get back to normal. Younghwa wanted to go to the South Pole, so she politely refused. Younghwa said so he bet to see if she could walk or not. He remembered the scene where he bet with Younghwa in previous life. If he walked along the rocky road to the other side without turning back once, she would leave him forever. If he turns back, it proves he doesn't want Younghwa to leave. Do-ha moves forward. Younghwa throws 10 rocks behind him to make him turn around. Seeing Do-ha about to reach the shore on the other side, Younghwa cheated. She rushed up and hugged him. Do-ha hesitated, not knowing whether to continue or turn back. Do-ha picked up a piece of rock from the ground. This time he also wanted to cheat and win the bet. Keep Younghwa by his side to open Younghwa's protective shield. Do-ha goes to the small temple at the address given by Assistant Jang. Here he learns that the old monk no longer makes amulets. The remaining things, they were all hidden in the cabinet. Do-ha went to rummage through the cabinet. He discovered that inside were all large rosaries and protective Buddha statues. Do-ha sighed. Such a large amulet clearly could not be worn by Younghwa with her. It seems that Younghwa's amulet was not taken from this temple. Do-ha left the temple disappointed. If he kept Younghwa with him, it would make finding the amulet on her easier. So Do-ha contacted the fire department directly to lead the pressure on Younghwa, and also canceled the interview trip to Antarctica today, and she had to actively cooperate in filming public service commercials. Younghwa was extremely angry after hearing this news. She decided to go to the set to find Juno to settle the matter, but unexpectedly at this time, Do-ha received a text message asking him to go to the car, otherwise they would attack Younghwa. He thought that Taiju was coming to cause trouble again, so he quickly ran to the parking lot. Younghwa also came here to look for Do-ha, but accidentally saw him unconscious in the car. Next to him, there was a syringe. Younghwa just picked up the syringe to check and was knocked unconscious. The killer drove. The two of them left. Assistant Jang received a call from Min-oh. He told the assistant to stay to protect Juno's safety. Through the police, the brother learned that the day Juno fell into a coma and fell into the sea was not an incident, but caused by someone behind it. Assistant Jang went to find Juno and saw Younghwa's backpack on the ground. Remembering the director's words, he immediately called the police, but it was too late. The two were tied up in an abandoned building. Younghwa slowly woke up. She told Juno to pretend to be unconscious. After speaking, she pulled out the knife she was carrying with her and cut the rope. Then she stood up and fought hand-to-hand with the gangsters, but because there were too many of them, Younghwa was quickly defeated. Not long after, they received an order from director Kyung-se, asking them to kill Younghwa and Juno, but they didn't want to kill anyone, because Tizgai only gave a little money, but they still wanted to teach Younghwa a lesson. When they walked towards Younghwa, Do-ha suddenly appeared, and without much effort, he defeated the thugs. At the same time, he grabbed the leader of the thugs by the neck and asked about the mastermind behind it. He immediately gave Do-ha the phone number of the person behind it. After Do-ha got the phone number, he immediately used Younghwa's knife to stab this guy once, heard Do-ha's police car sirens, and immediately ran away. When the police arrived, they saw that Younghwa had just regained consciousness. Younghwa was taken to the police station for investigation because Younghwa's defense caused serious injuries to the thugs. She will be questioned and investigated during this time. Do-ha avoided suspicion because he had fled the scene before. He told his brother Min-oh that someone was trying to kill him. Thanks to Younghwa's help, he was able to escape. Next to Younghwa is the safest place. Do-ha's words made his brother make a decision. After finishing, Do-ha followed the phone number given by the leader of the thugs and found a phone booth. Through a surveillance camera from a nearby store, he discovered director Kyung-se, but he did not understand why the the other person also wanted to kill Younghwa. At this time, a voice always echoed in director Kyung Se's mind, urged him to kill people. Because he was so panicked, he unfortunately fell from a high place and died in an alley. Suddenly the Stone Tape spirit was escaping from his body. Stone Tape took the body of assistant Cho Hwan and went to his house, telling Do-ha on TV that I hadn't seen you for a long time. Tonight, Younghwa had a nightmare again. In the dream, she and everyone were kneeling on the side of the road to welcome a very important character. Seriously, that person walked straight in front of her. When Younghwa woke up, she still couldn't remember the content of her nightmare. She quickly prepared and went to the police station to receive the investigation. But the main problem was the police showed a video of her breaking Juno's hand and forcing this guy to apologize. The video was posted online and received outrage from many Juno fans. People called for the violent firefighter to be fired like Younghwa. It turned out that this video was secretly recorded by Yi-sol's manager and posted online. She threatened Juno to withdraw from the new movie he was filming. Do-ha was not threatened by her. Instead, he told Yi-sol to stop bothering him, otherwise he would take revenge on her because of abusing grower Do-ha. So Younghwa was suspended for 3 months. She was extremely angry because the brother received news that the thugs woke up and insisted that Do-ha had beaten them. The brother decided to use money to silence the thugs. The lawyer reminded him that instead try best he could blame it all on Younghwa, but the brother firmly refused because he knew Do-ha liked this girl. Previously, Do-ha had offered to let Younghwa be his bodyguard. This was also his last act before his death. The brother had no choice but to agree. The police investigation agency came to Do-ha's house to give him evidence. In the photo, it was director Kyung Se, exactly like the man Do-ha saw in the video. The police wanted to find Younghwa to talk to but unfortunately could not contact the other party. Do-ha was very worried and wanted to go out to find Younghwa. As soon as he got in the car, he received a calling from the older brother. The older brother is ready to help the younger brother fulfill his wish to keep Younghwa by his side. The older brother says he keeps his word. He tricks Younghwa into coming to Do-ha's hospital room and explains that Do-ha doesn't have much left. Do-ha's life is still very short, but there is someone who wants to harm him. His brother heard that Younghwa is called an extraordinary firefighter. Indeed, it is true. Every time Juno is with Younghwa, he was able to miraculously escape death and survive. The brother asked Younghwa to stay with Do-ha for the next month. In return, he was willing to help her reinstate her. Younghwa was convinced. She even proactively offered to find Do-ha. She tried to find Do-ha's figure in the living room. She walked to a small gravel road. The host threw a pebble at Younghwa from behind, just like in her previous life when Do-ha followed the stone path. When he reached the other side, Younghwa stood behind him and kept throwing stones at him. Do-ha stepped forward and asked Younghwa to protect him for a month. Younghwa felt confused. Someone wanted to take Do-ha's life, she not knowing if she could protect Do-ha well or not. Do-ha also had his own thoughts. He kept Younghwa by his side because he wanted to be able to eliminate her within a month. Younghwa accepted the job. She also signed an agreement with Juno's brother. She asked him to help her reinstate her and help her clarify everything. After the two sides reached an agreement, Younghwa started working. She and Do-ha went to the TV station to read the script. Heard that the restroom is where the gossip group gathers. This group was caught by Younghwa. The staff discussed Juno having difficulty reading the script. Last time read the script took up to 8 hours. The girl even released video evidence. Younghwa peeked from behind. Do-ha was sitting in the meeting room. Seeing the director passing by, he was completely indifferent. He didn't even stood up to say hello. Manager Jung tried to show him, but Do-ha only cared about where Younghwa was right now. Younghwa wasn't in the room, so he didn't want to stay here anymore. Manager Jung had no choice, had to find a reason to bring Younghwa into the meeting room. When saw Younghwa, Do-ha felt relieved. Anyway, he didn't come for work, but to meet Younghwa. While he was talking to the female lead, Yi-sol, who was sitting opposite, laughed at Do-ha. She asked him how many hours he planned to spend reading the script this time. When the people present heard Yi-sol's words, they began to laugh and mock him. Younghwa noticed that everyone was mocking him, so she advised Do-ha to show them who he was. After a while, the director walked in again and taunted Do-ha. The actor said he couldn't keep up anyway. This script reading was just a formality. The work started. Everyone took turns reading their lines. When it was Do-ha's turn, he stopped for a while. Then he used all his emotions and read his lines. His voice was full of emotion, making the actor opposite him move to tears. The director also had to clap hands, the eyes filled with surprise. After finishing work, the manager excitedly walked over to hug Do-ha, but accidentally spilled water on Do-ha's clothes. Younghwa took the initiative to go to the car to get new clothes for him. At this time, she found Do-ha's clothes when he was taken away in the trunk of the car. There were blood bloodstains on them. Only close contact with the injured person leaves such bloodstains. Younghwa immediately suspected that maybe the person who defeated the gangsters at that time was Do-ha. Younghwa was about to take the shirt to do DNA testing. Do-ha immediately stepped forward to stop her, but as soon as she turned around, the protective shield immediately appeared, making Do-ha unable to get close to Younghwa. Do-ha noticed that Younghwa's bracelet had a rosary on it. When she was a child, Younghwa had a rosary as an amulet, but her classmates all laughed at her necklace, which was very strange. Younghwa angrily threw the rosary to the ground. Younghwa's father was pick up one bead and turned it into a bracelet so Younghwa could carry it with her. Finally, he found her key point. While Do-ha was thinking, there was a car rushing straight towards him. The driver was Taeju. Just now Taeju came to see Yi-so to ask about the script reading situation. He didn't understand why Do-ha suddenly changed and received everyone's praise. Yi-so was originally an arrogant person and always satirized Taeju for being incompetent in front of him, laughing and talking, but when turned away, her expression immediately became serious. Taeju was on the spot and was extremely angry. At this time, assistant Cho Hwan suddenly appeared. He shook hands with Taeju. That moment, the two hands touching each other brainwashed Taeju. Once Do-ha disappeared, everything would return to its original state. Taeju was controlled, and unconsciously, he drove his car towards Do-ha. At a dangerous moment, Younghwa pushed Do-ha away, and she was hit by car. Younghwa's bracelet also fell to the ground. Younghwa was taken to the hospital. While in a coma, she seemed to see herself in previous life wanting to kill Do-ha. Younghwa in her past life sneaked into Do-ha's room at night. She stabbed Do-ha to death, but she was quickly controlled by Do-ha. She was also injured in the shoulder. He only saw at a glance and realized when Younghwa's entire family was executed. Do-ha noticed that the others were bowing their heads. They just cried and didn't dare look at him with their own eyes, but only Younghwa looked at him with an angry face. The next day, he bandaged her. He kept her in the house as a maid. Younghwa really wanted to stay close to Do-ha to find a chance to take revenge. She would make him regret sparing her life to destroy enemy. Younghwa ignores the wound on her shoulder. She practices archery from morning to night. Do-ha goes to the archery school to teach Younghwa the skills of holding a bow. He welcomes Younghwa to kill him at any time. She is extremely difficult to understand. Do-ha seemed happy to die in her arms. Younghwa quickly learned the real reason. Do-ha was the adopted son of a general with a high position in the court. His adoptive father had a lot of wealth. Do-ha went to battle to destroy the enemy, so he was highly respected by the king. His adoptive father was wary of Do-ha's existence. Once his position was threatened, Do-ha had to disappear from this world. Do-ha seemed to be walking on thin ice. Every day he had to help his foster father test for poison before eating. This made Younghwa feel confused. Every time he brought food, the servant told her that Do-ha was not the biological child of this family. After delivering the food, Younghwa was arranged to go on a mission with Do-ha. The two of them rode horses to a forest. After Do-ha ordered Younghwa to wait for him, he went towards the mountain. Do-ha stood under a big tree. There was a pile of rocks here. Do-ha used it to hold a memorial service for the people he killed on the battlefield. Do-ha went forever but not yet returned. Younghwa saw that it had been a long time since Do-ha came back, so she went to the mountain to look for him. She witnessed Do-ha pouring wine on the stone tomb. Younghwa guessed he was commemorating the people of Daegaya. Do-ha also didn't deny it. The reason he chose to put the pile of rocks here was because he could clearly see the land of Daegaya from here. Younghwa thought he was trying to fake it. Do-ha was helpless. His mission is to eliminate the people of Daegaya, but in his heart he does not want to kill people. This is the only way to express his feelings. He hopes that one day he can let go of all his sins and have a peaceful sleep. Resentments and complaints no longer echoed in his mind. Do-ha knew Younghwa's identity. On the sword that Younghwa used to harm him that day was engraved with a symbol. Younghwa's father was a brave and talented warrior. Do-ha treasured this man. He always remembered that symbol. The two returned to the forest, but the horse had disappeared. It was already late now, so they had to go quickly to return. Do-ha quickly walked forward. He even reminded Younghwa to follow him, otherwise he would leave Younghwa behind. Younghwa had been keeping an eye on the person who harmed her father all her life, so she always tried her best to catch up with him. At this time it started to rain and they both went into the cave to take shelter from the rain. Do-ha, after lighting the fire, he told Younghwa to come closer to the fire. If she wants to kill her enemy first, she must protect her health. Younghwa sat by the fire. The two discussed the topic of revenge. Do-ha believed that Younghwa would defeat him, and he also hoped that she would end this hellish life of him for many years, as long as it was his adoptive father's order. Even if it meant harming someone, he would complete it whether he wanted to or not. Younghwa was very surprised. It turned out that Do-ha really wanted to die. He wanted to borrow her hand to escape from this hell. Younghwa angrily stood up. If she took action while Do-ha also wanted to die, this would not be revenge at all. On the contrary, it would help Do-ha fulfill his wish. She ordered Do-ha to continue living. Only when Do-ha longed to live did death make him feel pain. Younghwa fell asleep in the middle of the night. Do-ha put his shirt on her. Do-ha fell deep in thought. Over the years, many people have wanted to eliminate him, but no one ever wished him to live. Younghwa was the first. Do-ha fell asleep next to Younghwa. Their hands were close to each other, so he accidentally touched each other. That night, Do-ha did not come home all night. When his adoptive father heard the news, he was suspicious of this newly arrived slave. His adoptive father had long been aware of Do-ha's abnormality. He never did anything on his own, but this time, let the new girl into the house without saying a word. The adoptive father was extremely curious about Younghwa's identity, so he immediately had his people secretly investigate. Then, long dream Younghwa slowly woke up from the dream. This time she finally remembered all the content of the dream just now. In a daze, she saw Do-ha next to the hospital bed. She grabbed his sleeve and unconsciously calling him sir. Do-ha was extremely shocked. He immediately left the hospital room. Initially, he wanted to kill Younghwa to escape the fate of Stone Tape, but now after learning that Younghwa is still have memories of previous life, so he were a bit hesitant, and Younghwa was in a state of shock. Just now, she was immersed in a dream and couldn't get out. Younghwa was still rearranging her thoughts. Assistant Cho Hwan took Taeju to a deserted place. He wanted to kill Taeju to keep this guy silent forever and eliminate his traces in the case, but not everything went as planned. Human wishes. Assistant Cho Hwan left a mistake. The scene of him meeting Taeju privately was accidentally recorded by a surveillance camera. Fortunately, the police checking the surveillance camera were about to see this scene, but his superior called. His superior asked him to bring pictures of Yi Sol meeting male actors. The police suspected that Yi Sol might be Taeju's accomplice. Yi Sol was extremely angry when she found out about this. She knew that this photo was secretly taken by Juno's brother, so she went to find him to settle the matter. She made it clear that she was not the murderer. She and Juno used to love each other, so how could she harm Juno? Juno's brother didn't believe her, so he directly invited her to leave. Yi Sol angrily left. Halfway there, she suddenly came up with an idea to clear the suspicion. After sending Yi Sol back, Juno's brother immediately went to see Younghwa. He returned her the amulet he found at the scene of the accident. Younghwa thanked him. Returning to the hospital room, she carefully placed the amulet on the table. She didn't notice Do-ha was outside the door. Do-ha did not dare to enter the room, but just stood there looking at her. He was afraid that he would hesitate and not be able to kill her. Younghwa was quickly discharged from the hospital and went home. She went to the rooftop to taking in the fresh air, accidentally discovered Do-ha in the distance. She was happy to see him. She quickly ran downstairs to meet him. Do-ha looked at Younghwa's face. The image of Younghwa singing again appeared in his mind. He was afraid of facing Younghwa again. Before Younghwa went downstairs, Do-ha drove away. Younghwa was a bit confused. She immediately took a taxi to Do-ha's house to ask why he avoided her. As soon as she entered the living room, she immediately saw cancer treatment drugs scattered on the ground. Do-ha was now unconscious on the stairs. Nearby, Younghwa quickly walked over to check. She had a hard time calling he woke up, but she only heard Do-ha keep asking who she was. Younghwa blamed him for taking too much painkillers. Even he didn't recognize her. Do-ha's expression was very sad, taking so many painkillers but still can't erase the pain in his heart, whether it was 1,500 years ago or now. Younghwa always makes him weak. Younghwa helps Do-ha to bed and takes care of him. She even cooked porridge for him. Do-ha was extremely touched. He asked why she was so kind to him. Younghwa replied that it was her responsibility as a firefighter. Do-ha immediately became angry and directly kicked Younghwa out. After Do-ha calmed down, he thought back to the scene of Younghwa calling his name. He didn't understand that the other person clearly had no memories of Younghwa, but why did she can recognize him in dream? For thousands of years, Younghwa's rebirth has never recognized him. Is it possible that in this life, the bitter fate between the two of you has come to an end? Thousands of years ago, Do-ha having told Younghwa all her feelings in the cave, Younghwa's heart also shook. She did not take the opportunity while Do-ha was sleeping to kill him. After this time, the bad fate between the two people sprouted. Do-ha saw Younghwa stumble because he couldn't see clearly. He silently lit a candle to illuminate her. Younghwa responded to his help. She gave Do-ha herbs to help him sleep better. The secret feelings between the two gradually arose. One day, Younghwa came to serve Do-ha, but learned that after receiving orders, he rushed to the front line. Younghwa was very worried. From then on, she often looked towards the door every day, until one evening, Do-ha returned safely, even though there there were bloodstains on his body. He passed by Younghua with an expressionless face. He did not greet Younghua because wanted to protect her. If he did so, his adoptive father wouldn't notice. But his wise father had someone investigate Younghua's identity. When his adoptive father learned that she was the general's daughter, Daegaya, he immediately showed a sinister smile. Who knows, maybe she could become a trap that Doha will fall into. Doha changed into his military uniform and went to meet Younghua. Just now he discovered that she was waiting for him returned. He asked if she was worried about him. Younghua refused to tell the truth. She said that she was just worried that he wouldn't die in her hands. Now she just wanted to kill him to avenge her parent, and then she calmly returned to the underworld. Doha was a little disappointed. He was determined to live well. This way, Younghua would have a reason to continue living. After saying that, he immediately take a lotus seed as a gift. The lotus seed is hard and strong like a rock, so even if it is buried for thousands of years, it will not decompose. But if you want it to bloom, you must make a wound on the seed. Doha using lotus seeds as a metaphor for himself. He wanted her to cherish the steadfastness over thousands of years, quietly waiting for the day the lotus bloomed. Younghua woke up from a dream. This time she remembered the content of her dream. She was immersed in the dream and couldn't get out. Suddenly she was hit by someone and almost hit by a bus. Fortunately, the assistant Cholwan saved her. Younghua looked at his face and felt very familiar. Younghua received a call from Doha's lawyer. He brought Doha's bloody clothes and wanted to ask Younghua what happened that day. Younghua was silent. She only said a few words and then made an excuse to leave. Younghua hid the fact that Doha alone fought against the thugs. She didn't want him to be investigated by the police and waste some of his last time. The lawyer couldn't get any useful information from Younghua, so he had to go to the hospital to visit the gangsters. As soon as he arrived at the hospital, he discovered that the door to the hospital room had been broken open. Surrounded by police, the handcuffs of the thugs were released. Everyone had escaped. The lawyer had an even more headache. He accidentally saw the assistant Cholwan passing by. He began to have doubts. Assistant Cholwan left the hospital and went to a secret place to meet the gangster boss. The leader of the gangster gang had to write a suicide note as requested. Assistant Cholwan laughed loudly when he saw the suicide note. He's about to target Doha. The lawyer made an appointment to meet Juno's brother. He told Juno's poor brother that he saw Assistant Cholwan at the hospital. Juno's brother suddenly realized maybe Assistant Cholwan always had a grudge against him and was the mastermind behind it. In order to prevent Doha from being in danger again, the brother Juno decided to let Younghua move into Doha's house, the purpose of which was to protect him 24 hours one day, so she could protect Doha at all times. Younghua was very happy. She immediately agreed. Then she quickly packed her luggage. She picked up the amulet to look at it and accidentally discovered a broken ancient lotus seed. It looked very similar to the lotus seed that Doha gave her in her dream. Younghua guessed correctly. The amulet was a rosary from ancient lotus seeds, but it was not made by a monk. The monk discovered that his disciple was rummaging around, looking for the protective amulet. The monk gave his disciple a talisman to ward off evil spirits, so that he could stick it on the place stone tape lived, so that he could help Younghua. At this time, Younghua went to Doha's house. Doha saw Younghua appear at his house. He thought that she wanted to follow him. He even teased her. Younghua was very angry. She felt that Doha always misunderstood other people's good intentions, making people who were really worried about him sad. Doha looked at Younghua affectionately. He asked her if she was really worried about him. Younghua shyly looked away. Then she conveniently turned on the TV to watch. But unexpectedly, the newspaper reported ancient lotus seeds from thousands of years ago finally successfully germinated. This lotus seed was discovered during the excavation of the castle from the period when Silla conquered Daegaya. That was the lotus seed that Doha gave to Younghua back then. Doha remembered the bet he made with Younghua thousands of years ago. This time the lotus seed bloomed and he won, and Younghua whispered that it turned out that she had lost, and Doha was shocked when he heard what Younghua said. Doha was shocked when she heard what Younghua said. Younghua quickly made an excuse to run away. She didn't understand why she said this. Younghua went to the kitchen to get a glass of water to soothe herself. When she turned around, she discovered that Doha had disappeared. She went to a dark place to look for him, but unfortunately fell to the ground. Just like 1,000 years ago, Du has suddenly turned on the light to show Younghua the way. The two looked at each other. Doha looked at Younghua blankly. He didn't know if Younghua really missed him or if it was just a coincidence. Early in the morning, Younghua woke up and discovered that Doha had taken the dream decoding book that she often read recently. He even deliberately read out what she had marked. People in love often dream about the person they love. Perhaps Younghua has been dreaming about him recently. Hearing that, Younghua got angry and walked over, grabbed the book, but unfortunately she tripped and fell. Younghua was about about to stand up and teach Do-ha a lesson when the doorbell suddenly rang. Yi-so specially brought the favorite dessert of Juno because she wanted them to come back. But as soon as she stepped inside, she saw Younghwa standing nearby. She immediately felt the strong smell of gunpowder here. So she directly took Do-ha's arm and said she wanting the two of them to have their own space and telling Younghwa to go out her head and was about to leave. Do-ha directly smashed the dessert brought by Yi-so. He told Yi-so to immediately get out, but Yi-so wasn't angry at all. She saw that Do-ha was completely different from before. She was even attracted to his charm. She was determined to have him. Manager Jang saw Yi-so leaving angrily. He entered the house and saw two people cleaning up broken desserts. Do-ha was afraid that Younghwa's hand would be injured, so he immediately helped her, holding the piece of glass. Manager immediately understood Do-ha's intentions, so he immediately stepped forward to support. Manager Jen deliberately mentioned that Do-ha loved someone else in front of Younghwa, so he rejected Yi-so's good intentions. Younghwa thought back to Do-ha's kind actions towards her recently. She guessed that the person Do-ha was in love with was her. After cleaning up, Manager Jang took the two of them to the archery field. On the way, the Manager Jang continuously supported Do-ha. Manager Jang deliberately asked Younghwa if she liked the online novel, for example, the love story of a loyal boy who only focuses on one girl. Younghwa said she liked the original style. At first, she wanted to take revenge on the person who murdered her parents, but later she fell in love with that person. Younghwa's sincere words made Do-ha a little confused. Soon they went to the archery range. This time, arranged the main actor will follow the director's request to come here to practice archery. Younghwa feels like she saw this scene in a dream. Do-ha turned around. He chased Younghwa and wanted to talk to her, but Younghwa asked him to focus on archery. The actors were all looking at the two of them. Yi-so came and put the bow and arrow in Do-ha's hands. She enthusiastically taught him how to shoot arrows, but Do-ha kept staring at Younghwa. He also asked Yi-so to stay away from him. After speaking, he raised his bow and shot straight into the bull's eye. This scene made everyone admire. After finishing archery, he turned around and took Younghwa to leave. When he got to a deserted place, he asked if Younghwa knew his true identity, and she even saw him in her dream. Younghwa was very wronged. She didn't want to confess, constantly dreaming about him. It made her heart become confused. Do-ha confirmed that Younghwa was gradually remembering past life memories. He remembered the time thousands of years ago. Younghwa had reincarnated a lot like that, but only this time, since childhood, she was able to see him in stone tape form. But when Younghwa grew up, she could no longer see him, but now the memories of that year came rushing back to her dream. Do-ha returned home and met Younghwa in the elevator. Younghwa looked uncomfortable. Suddenly a monk rushed over and directly applied the talisman to Do-ha's body, but Do-ha had high magic power, so he directly tore the talisman into pieces. The monk was extremely surprised and had no choice but to run away. He found the monk to ask the reason. The monk asked him to wait patiently. The amulet would definitely has effect. Indeed, as the monk said, Do-ha collapsed to the ground. As soon as he returned home, he left Juno's body and returned to his stone tape form. But the strange thing is that this time Younghwa actually could see his appearance. A moment later, Do-ha returned to Juno's body. The stone tape in front of her eyes had disappeared. Younghwa was extremely panicked. She walked over to check and saw that Do-ha's pulse still beating. It's clear that the person in front of her is still alive. Younghwa's mind became chaotic. She was scared and quickly ran home. She still clearly remembered the shape of the stone tape appeared in front of her. It had also appeared in her dream. Younghwa suddenly remembered it seemed like she had met stone tape when she was young. She was so scared that she screamed. Her best friend quickly ran into the room. Only then did Younghwa gradually calm down. She thought she had mental problems, so went to see a psychiatrist. She told the doctor what she saw in the dream. At that time, Younghwa was at Do-ha's house. Now her adoptive father knew Younghwa's identity. He deliberately told her to prepare food for the father and son. After Do-ha finished testing the poison, Younghwa brought the food in front of him. His foster father grabbed Younghwa's wrist. At this time, there was a noise outside the door. His foster father said that recently there was a plentiful of lost items. Younghwa had just arrived, so she became the first suspect. Younghwa was tied up and kneeling in the yard, and a large amount of property was found in her room. In the face of all the evidence, Younghwa's gaze was still very resolute. She did not say a word of justification. The foster father asked Do-ha how a slave stole things from the palace. Do-ha protected Younghwa and said that although the evidence was convincing, it was possible that someone was fabricating the evidence. He asked his adoptive father to entrust the investigation to him. After all, Younghwa was a slave brought by him. The adoptive father ignored Do-ha's words and immediately ordered Younghwa to be locked up in the warehouse and continued to torture her until she confessed. Younghwa was tormented. Her identity was the daughter of General Daegaya. Younghwa has a strong personality. Even though she faced physical pain, she did not utter a single cry. Do-ha saw that his father was deliberately targeting Younghwa. All of those things were expensive items in the place, and normal servants can't touch it. The adoptive father saw that Do-ha was care about Younghwa. Do-ha was afraid that his love would get Younghwa into trouble. He quickly explained that she was just a lowly servant. The adoptive father also told the whole truth. He discovered that the trader's daughter was still alive. He only needed to confirm her identity. Do-ha finally understood that his adoptive father had deliberately said these words to him. Younghwa's life is on the brink. Do-ha went to the warehouse door to care about the other person's injury, but she didn't want to involve him. She hoped he wouldn't stand up to protect her anymore. Just finished speaking, there was no more sound from the door. Younghwa thought Do-ha had left, so she felt a little disappointed in her heart. She helplessly lay on the ground and shed tears. In fact, Do-ha had not left yet. He was fighting internally, determined to make the final choice. He broke the lock on the warehouse door and came to Younghwa's side. Do-ha led Younghwa out of the palace. On the way, he encountered a guard. The guard also knew that Younghwa was the General Daegaya's daughter. Do-ha also did not hide it. He begged this guy to pretend not to see and let the two people leave. From now on, she would never appear again, but the guard refused and immediately drew sword rushed towards Younghwa. Do-ha immediately destroyed the guard and quickly took Younghwa to leave. The two of them came to a forest. Do-ha could only send Younghwa here. She just needed to go straight. She would arriving at Daegaya. She wondered why he would harm people because of her. Do-ha's thoughts were very simple. He just wanted to save her. Since meeting Younghwa, he knew what he wanted to do. That is to do as Younghwa said, has the will to live and waits for Younghwa to kill him. Younghwa cannot hold back her tears. She says that if he does not keep his life, she will not leave him. Live in peace. Younghwa explains her dream for the doctor. The doctor concluded that it was just a dream and advised her that if she still saw the illusion, she should console herself that it was not real. Younghwa accepted the doctor's words. What she see that she is just an illusion. She should not be immersed in illusions, but ignore the wonderful life. Younghwa is not going to work today. Do-ha is worried about her spirit, so he always silently observes from afar. Seeing Younghwa in a happy mood, a fire suddenly flared up in him. He felt like he was worrying in vain. Now that Younghwa had gradually remembered past life, Do-ha decided to intending to take this opportunity to clarify the relationship between the two people. He wanted to attack Younghwa. The biggest obstacle was the two monks in the temple. Do-ha came to the temple. Because of that spell, he almost lost Juno's body, and he couldn't take revenge on Younghwa. The monk made it clear that Do-ha was the stone tape. He was always by Younghwa's side, which was also the object he hated the most. Only by eliminating this hatred will Do-ha be freed. But the monk also reminds him that revenge is not the only way to face resentment. But Do-ha still does not understand the hidden meaning behind it. Do-ha kept following Younghwa. He saw her and her best friend drinking too much. She even fell asleep at the soccer field while Younghwa was sleeping. Do-ha wanted to attack her, but Younghwa wake up in time and stop him. Younghwa, in a vague state, she looked at the person in front of her was Do-ha in an ancient costume. She stood up and hugged Do-ha's face. She told herself that everything was just an illusion. After speaking, Younghwa staggered forward. She jumped around the soccer field. A moment later, she counted the stars in the sky. Her bewildered appearance looked extremely cute. After the chaos, Do-ha took Younghwa home. Younghwa passionately talked about her dream. She dreamed that Do-ha let her leave. She returned to Daegaya alone, but she was worried about Do-ha committing suicide. She thought that, if she left, he would be punished. She still hadn't dreamed of what happened next. Younghwa was talking while walking, and her body lost balance, so she fell backwards. Luckily, Do-ha acted quickly. He grabbed her shirt so she wouldn't fall. Do-ha used his strength to pull Younghwa towards him. When in close contact with Younghwa, Do-ha felt his heart suddenly beating very fast. Do-ha began to check his heart again. He was hesitating whether or not he should attack Younghwa. Right now, he felt very confused. He didn't know if he was hesitating because he was attached to Younghwa, or he was curious why he died that year. While thinking, the brother Mino appeared. Younghwa recently took a leave of absence. His older brother wanted to come and protect Do-ha. Seeing that his brother has always treated him well, Do-ha took a photo of director Kyung Se in the phone booth and gave it to his brother. Do-ha told his brother that he was probably the one who instructed others to destroy him. His brother was very surprised surprised and immediately called a lawyer. His brother ordered the lawyer investigating the current whereabouts of director Kyung Se. As soon as he finished talking to the brother assistant, Chou Huan called the lawyer and said wanted to make an appointment to meet him. Younghwa practiced yoga on early morning to calm the mood. She thought she was suffering from an occupational disease, so she confused reality with imagination. So she mistook Do-ha for the person of her dreams, but the more she thought about it, the more confused she became. Even in her mind were all images of Do-ha last night. Younghwa felt very embarrassed, so she decided to go find Do-ha to talk. She was about to go out when her best friend stopped her. Just then her best friend read the latest news. Isol posted intimate photos of Juno online. Her best friend immediately helped Younghwa with beautiful makeup and took her to the event venue of Do-ha and Yi-sol. In the crowd of Younghwa seeing Yi-sol intimately holding Do-ha's arm, she also heard that the two were dating. Her face suddenly changed. She turned around and left in disappointment. After the event ended, Yi-sol was very satisfied. Do-ha helped her escape a scandal with another male idol. She even erased the suspicion of being an accomplice. She took the initiative to hold Do-ha's hand, raised but was pushed away by him. She could only watch Do-ha walk towards where Younghwa was waiting in the distance. Yi-sol saw Younghwa wearing makeup and dressing beautifully and immediately mocked her. She intentionally embarrassed Younghwa. Younghwa was dragged away by Do-ha. On the way she told Do-ha emotionlessly. This time she came to see him just to get her luggage at his house. She felt it was time to leave. Recently her mood had gotten worse and worse. Last night she was drunk and even mistaking Do-ha for the guy of her dreams. After speaking force, Younghwa took her luggage and left. Just walked to the door and met the brother Juno. Mino guessed that something had happened between the two of them. Do-ha has recently been strangely obsessed with Younghwa. He said that Younghwa saw his true form. Younghwa heard this and immediately remembered that night the monk had placed the talisman on Do-ha. She immediately went to the reception desk and asked the monk's name that day. At that time the receptionist was very impressed with the monk to tell Younghwa that the other one was from Oksim Temple. So Younghwa went to the temple to meet the monk. Hearing what the monk said, she realized that the rosary was made from ancient lotus seeds. It will protect the owner from evil spirits or demons, and also prevent the owner from seeing ghosts. Now that the lotus seeds have broken, so she can see the stone tape and remember the content of the dream. Younghwa was thinking when she suddenly remembered the last words Do-ha said to her that night. Do-ha confessed that he was no longer alive. He only temporarily borrowed Juno's body. She didn't understand what did he mean. She just had to make an appointment with Do-ha to talk clearly. The two met on the bridge. Do-ha guessed that Younghwa remembered what happened that night, so he directly used his power, turned off all the surrounding lights and then turned them back on. Then he confessed that he was stone tape. He had stayed in the human world for more than 1,500 years. He just wanted to know how he died at that time, and how he died, and why did Younghwa kill him. Go back 1,500 years ago. It was Do-ha and Younghwa's wedding day. Do-ha took out a rosary made of lotus seeds and put it on Younghwa. He expressed his true feelings with her. Hearing that she was Do-ha's wife in her past life, Younghwa was so excited that she burst out laughing. She mocked him for being a ghost from 1,500 years ago and still wanted to take advantage of her. Do-ha was extremely angry. He immediately said everything in Younghwa's childhood story. Last year her co-worker borrowed $5 million from her, but she didn't dare to ask for it. Hearing that Younghwa looked unconvinced, Do-ha watched Younghwa leave. Even though Younghwa said that she didn't believe what Do-ha said, but when she returned home, she remembered her childhood. She often saw the shape of stone tape. In fact, she believed most of Do-ha's words. Younghwa had a hard time falling asleep tonight. Do-ha's eyes also sank into thought. He looked at the bruises gradually appearing on his body. Younghwa's 30th birthday was coming up. It was time for her to rest. On a beautiful day, Do-ha arranged to meet Younghwa next to the yellow water lily lake. He told her the story of the yellow water lily in the lake, which was the symbol of the Daegaya family. Those dreams of hers were not imagination, but a true story. Happened 1,500 years ago. Do-ha was reincarnated with her many times, but only in this life could she see him. Do-ha convinced Younghwa to continue the dream and told he knew the truth about his death. He wanted to end this endless torment to be reincarnated. Younghwa's eyes turned red when she heard Do-ha's words. Over the years, she had to endure many torments. Since she was a child, She could see the stone tape and she was trapped in fear and couldn't sleep. But Doha only cared about his own liberation. He completely didn't care about her pain. Younghwa said he was selfish. If he wanted to be reincarnated soon, he should forget everything that year by himself. She told him not to bother her anymore. Doha could only sigh. Watching Younghwa leave made his heart even more confused. Going back 1,500 years ago, Doha dealt with the guards and escaped with Younghwa. Seeing that the guards had caught up with them, Doha chased Younghwa away and he stopped the guards. As soon as he turned around, an arrow was flying towards Younghwa. He quickly ran back to block the arrow for Younghwa. After being hit by the arrow, Doha immediately lost consciousness. When he woke up, he seen that he was in the palace. He immediately asked his adoptive father that where Younghwa was. The adoptive father could only laugh and said that Younghwa had already been dealt with by me. Doha had completely lost control at this time. For the first time he opposing his adoptive father, he vowed to sever the father-son relationship with him from now on. Without Younghwa, he had no reason to live. After said that he left the house despite his adoptive father's objections. But when opening the door, he saw Younghwa kneeling outside. Next to her were a few people who knew that Younghwa was the enemy's daughter. His adoptive father stepped forward and killed all the witnesses. He just did that just to watch. How important is Younghwa to Doha? From now on he will take Younghwa hostage to control Ha working for him. After saying that he ordered the two of them to get married, he did not stop threatened Younghwa's life so that Doha could obediently listen to him. Younghwa did not want to be manipulated, so she went on a hunger strike. Doha advised her that instead of being hunted down and killed, she should listen to his adoptive father so that she could live, so she could wait for the opportunity to kill her enemy. Younghwa said nothing. In fact, she didn't want to see Doha being controlled by others, but the fate of the two people was as thin as paper. They could only patiently follow Doha's adoptive father's orders. Since Doha was caught by his adoptive father, he often ordered Doha to go to the battlefield. Even though his wound had not healed yet, he still had to obey orders to lead the army to war. Younghwa felt sorry for Doha's situation, but now the only thing all she could do was pray for Doha's safe return. Not long after Doha returned home exhausted, hearing the noise, Younghwa suddenly woke up. She proactively helped Doha take off his armor. She accidentally discovering that Doha's body was very cold. She guessed that Doha had a high fever. Before she could call the doctor, he fell to the ground. When his foster father heard the news, the father immediately ran to see the situation. The father even threatened, "If Doha, you couldn't wake up, I would take Younghwa's life." Younghwa's eyes were wet. Taking advantage of Doha's coma, she pulled out the knife next to her and intended to kill him. She didn't want him to be threatened by his adoptive father because of her paping him. Death is better than alive, so she wanted to help him escape from this hell on earth. She was miserable and wanted to see him go, but in the end, she still couldn't do it. She collapsed on Doha's chest and sobbed. Doha woke up to see the knife falling next to him. He guessed it was Younghwa's. He asked her why she once again gave up the opportunity to kill him. Younghwa looked sad. Compared to killing Doha to repay, the more she hoped he would wake up soon. The more she talked about this, the two of them felt tired. Being manipulated by others is extremely painful. She wants to ask Doha a question. She doesn't want to harm him anymore, so how should she live in the future? She begs Doha to help her find a reason to continue living. Doha held Younghwa's hand. He promised to help Younghwa for the rest of his life. Younghwa felt relieved. She expressed her feelings for Doha. Younghwa woke up. She was still immersed in the dream and could not unable to escape. She kept shedding tears. She hated that the unhappy lovers of her previous life affected her spirit. She was an outsider, and yet others immersed in it were insiders like Doha. How miserable and helpless would be. Thinking about this, she suddenly remembered the day at the Golden Lily Lake. She felt guilty for the excessive words she said to Doha, and also to those who were caught up in fate. For 1,500 years will finally end in this world. Assistant Cholhwan is the reincarnation of Doha's adoptive father. Cholhwan made an appointment to meet the lawyer. Waiting until the lawyer drove close, Assistant Cholhwan immediately pushed Taeju towards the car. Taeju immediately died on the spot. He then helped the panicked lawyer dispose of the body after everything was resolved. The lawyer gradually calmed down. Meeting Cholhwan late at night meant putting himself in danger, but everything happened. The lawyer had to accept being controlled and obeyed orders to bring him before Juno's brother. Assistant Cholhwan reminded Juno's brother that Juno, after being resurrected, had changed a lot and was no longer the same Juno as before. If Juno's brother wanted to confirm what he said, try testing Juno. Let's ask about a secret that only two people know. The older brother thought about his younger brother's recent changes, so he decided to check it out. Older brother of Juno called Younghwa and invited her to his house for dinner. Younghwa wanted to take this opportunity to apologized to Do-ha. Young-hwa went to Do-ha's house. Juno's brother specially prepared a table food for her. At the dining table, Juno's brother took the opportunity to check on Do-ha, asked Juno if he remembered when he was a kid when he went to catch seafood and accidentally fell into the water. Do-ha didn't think much and just nodded and said yes. His brother was extremely disappointed and then made an excuse to leave the table, to went into the kitchen and whispered to himself, that was wrong. Actually, the person who fell into the sea was Juno's brother. After eating former, Do-ha let Young-hwa go home. Young-hwa apologized for her excessive words that day. Since dreaming about the sad story of Do-ha and Young-hwa in the past, she understood him, and she also wanted to know why Young-hwa in the past killed him. Now she wants to continue that dream because wanted to know the outcome of Do-ha and Young-hwa, and she also wanted to help Do-ha escape since the two reconciled. Young-hwa was like a curious child. She kept asking questions about her experience of reincarnating many times of Do-ha. Do-ha doesn't care. He just wants Young-hwa to dream as soon as possible to see the ending of the two of them. Moreover, in 1,500 years, most of them are everyday things. He has almost forgotten memories of those years. Young-hwa suspected he was not telling the truth. At least, Do-ha still remembers what happened when he was young, seeing the other person appear in every minute and second of her life. Young-hwa is extremely happy. The person who lost parents when was young like her will no longer feeling lonely again. Perhaps Do-ha is her guardian angel. Seeing Young-hwa's self-answering appearance, Do-ha suddenly smiled. Young-hwa did not have any dreams tonight. She sighed in disappointment. Before, when she closed her eyes, Do-ha's image immediately appeared. Now she was excited to dream, but had a good sleep. Young-hwa felt worried. Today she didn't know how to face Do-ha. She finally mustered up the courage to go to Do-ha's house. She happened to meet him just after taking a shower. Young-hwa saw Do-ha's strong body and immediately blushed with embarrassment. She quickly ran out. After Do-ha changed clothes, he immediately asked Young-hwa what he dreamed about last night. Young-hwa took a sip of coffee, looking at his eyes as if he wanted to swallow. Her Young-hwa immediately thought about tricking Do-ha. She was planning to make up a story, but while trying to come up with an idea, Yi-sol suddenly ran over. Yi-sol threw a bunch of photos in front of the two people. Paparazzi were always lurking at Do-ha's door and took pictures of Young-hwa entering Do-ha's house. These people are still spreading rumors about them and slandering Do-ha and Young-hwa for living together. Young-hwa is not married yet, was pregnant. As soon as paparazzi's article appeared, Yi-sol was extremely angry. She felt like she was the national beauty but had her man stolen by an ordinary girl. She threatened poor Do-ha must help her solve this problem, otherwise she will spread the news that Young-hwa is a vixen who steals other people's men. Do-ha, in order to protect Young-hwa, so he had to agree to take intimate photos with Yi-sol. The paparazzi took the photos, only take photos of the two of them. These people left satisfied, and they also deleted photos of Young-hwa and Do-ha. Compared to the love between a star and an unknown woman, the stories about a superstar couple received more searches. Young-hwa was very sad. She felt that she was not as beautiful as Yi-sol. She felt that the two of them were more suitable for each other. He immediately comforted her that 1,500 years ago, Young-hwa was the one who received Sorbo, and Daegaya recognized her as a beauty. Young-hwa had reincarnated many times, but she was the only person with the same face as Young-hwa. Hearing these words, she shyly turned away. While the two were being sweet together, the police investigated that the man who was next to Taeju that day was Assistant Silk. At the same time, Taeju's body was picked up from the river along with a suicide note. In the suicide note, Taeju said he died was because of Juno and Juno's brother. It was because they forced him to die. The news was reported and received strong opposition. Juno's brother asked a lawyer to handle this. They must not let the name Juno appeared in actor Taeju's article. After speaking, Juno's brother told the lawyer to take him to see. Assistant Cho Won guessed that Juno's brother had discovered Juno's abnormality. He also directly reminded Juno's brother that Juno's body had been taken over by an evil spirit that had lived for more than 1,000 years. As long as he chased away that evil spirit, Juno would survive. Then he revealed the scars on his chest that had been possessed by evil spirits. He said he had also been through everything, so he had a way to save Juno. Juno's brother saw the assistant Cholwan strange, so Scars immediately believed what he said. Juno's brother begged assistant Cholwan to tell him how to save his brother. The police came to find Do-ha and informed him that Taeju's death had been concluded. Do-ha even more don't understand. It's clear that the police have a video of Taeju meeting assistant Silk in private, but why don't they continue to investigate assistant assistant So. The police don't know what to say. They can't hide it anymore, so they just had to tell Do-ha the truth. Juno's brother stood as a guarantor for Mr. So. Do-ha was extremely surprised. He was worried that Young-hwa was in danger, so he wanted to take her to the fire station. The two of them had just reached the door. Then Juno's brother suddenly appeared. The older brother noticed the strange scar on Do-ha's body and immediately made an excuse to get closer to Do-ha to check more closely, but Do-ha shook his hand away. Seeing the younger brother react like that, the brother became even more convinced that what Assistant Cho Hwan said was true. His younger brother was possessed by a demon. Young-hwa saw the tense atmosphere, so she quickly stepped forward to relieve Do-ha. Then she immediately dragged Do-ha away. When the two of them left, his brother received a call from a hospital in America. They carefully studied Juno's examination report. It was concluded that Juno was no longer able to be treated, and they advised him to accept the fact that his younger brother was about to die. But Mino loved his younger brother so much that he could not accept this. He could only put hoping for Assistant Seok. When the older brother went to see Assistant Cho Hwan to find a solution, Assistant Cho Hwan showed a gloomy expression and advised him to kill Young-hwa. Then Do-ha would recover on his own. At this time, Do-ha took Young-hwa to the fire station. On the way, Young-hwa also noticed traces of evil energy under Do-ha's neck. When she returned to the office, she saw a photo of Do-ha on the wall without that scar. She was extremely confused. While she was lost in thought, a group of colleagues surrounded her. They wished her a happy birthday. Young-hwa was also given tickets to visit an amusement park. Young-hwa was extremely happy. She felt thanks to the kindness of her colleagues. After saying goodbye to her colleagues and going home, she sent a text message saying she had arrived safely at Do-ha. At this time, Do-ha felt relieved, and he told himself in his heart that in this life, he will not let Young-hwa die at the hands of others. That night, in order to have a beautiful dream, Young-hwa specially invited her best friend to sleep with her. She hopes that with her best friend's sleeping style, she will not be able to sleep too deeply and also convenient for the dream. She then bribed her best friend with amusement park tickets, successfully letting her best friend sleep with her. Young-hwa didn't dream at all tonight. She was extremely depressed, but last night she agreed to went to the amusement park with her best friend, so this morning she had to go out, but unexpectedly she saw Do-ha waiting at the door. Do-ha was worried about her safety. After learning that she was planning to go to an amusement park, he had to take Manager John and the two of them to the park. To prevent fans from recognizing Juno, Manager Jang bought him a special bunny mask. Do-ha was helpless, so he put on a mask and followed behind to watch the three of them. They also pulled him onto an exciting roller coaster to play with. Do-ha was extremely scared. After falling from the sky, he quickly told Young-hwa to go home. This game was really too dangerous. Young-hwa couldn't disobey Do-ha's words, so she had to reluctantly leave with him. But halfway there, a group of fans recognized Juno. Everyone immediately rushed towards him. Young-hwa saw this and immediately pulled Do-ha away. Just like that, the two of them were able to avoid the pursuit of fans. In the end, he was forced to hide in a haunted house. Didn't expect Do-ha was stone-taped, but he was afraid of the fake ghosts here. He was scared and screamed after rushing out of the haunted house. With Young-hwa, he didn't forget to block the door. Both looked at each other's ugly appearance and laughed hard. Do-ha was filled with emotions. If only he and Young-hwa could live in this era, they would be a normal couple like any other couple. When going out all day, Manager Jang drove them home. Young-hwa was tired and quietly leaned on Do-ha's shoulder. This time she finally dreamed of her past life memories, the wedding night of Do-ha and Young-hwa. Do-ha saw that the bride looked serious, so he advised her to cheer up a bit. Young-hwa smiled and reminded Do-ha that he should still take care of himself. Do-ha asked her to call him husband. Young-hwa smiled and stood up. When he said such words, he should smile like this. Do-ha was meditating in the yard. Every time he wanted to shake hands with the other person, will all hesitate at the last moment. Young-hwa's 30th birthday is approaching. Young-hwa is also about to face the fate of death. In this life, he wants to kill Young-hwa himself, then reincarnated again so that he wouldn't be like his previous life when he saw her die right before his eyes. Not only Do-ha wanted to destroy Young-hwa, but even Juno's brother was trying to harm her. In order to save his brother's life, he came to meet So. The opponent asked him to destroy Young-hwa because the evil spirit possessing Juno was a great crime created by Young-hwa in previous life. The evil ghost turned into a poetic spirit and accidentally took over Juno's body, just making Young-hwa disappear. That devil no longer had a reason to exist. Assistant Cho Hwan made Juno's brother become insane. Then he immediately went to Young-hwa to thank her for saving him from the fire. Mr. Cho Hwan invited her to coffee while the two of them talked. Assistant Cho Wan accidentally talked about ghosts. He secretly wanted to remind Young Hua that the innocent souls who were killed and became the possessed spirits are all evil spirits, but they are still attached to the world. Seeing that Young Hua didn't believe him, Assistant Cho Wan told her, the person who turns into a ghost spirit will represent it, regret and hatred for the human world. A ghost with a grudge cannot be gentle. If Young Hua sees ghosts in real life, she absolutely should not believe their lies. Young Hua was so scared that she didn't know what to do. She quickly said goodbye. In leaving, she always felt that Assistant Cho Wan's words were aimed at Do-ha. Juno's brother came to see Do-ha. His brother wanted to confirm Assistant Soap's words. He deliberately probed Do-ha and suggested Young Hua asked Young Hua to quickly return to the fire station to continue her mission. Once the time was prolonged, it would be even more disadvantageous for Young Hua. Do-ha strictly refused. He warned his brother not to take care of his own affairs. He and Young Hua too just need to patiently wait for a while to be able to end everything. And his brother's heart has already determined that Do-ha indeed has great feelings for Young Hua. Just in time for Young Hua, he arrived. He intended to talk directly to Young Hua about going back to work, but was stopped by Do-ha. Do-ha injured his brother's cheek. Seeing Young Hua, the two of them didn't want to dispute either. His brother quickly said goodbye, then left. Do-ha advised Young Hua to temporarily stay away from his brother. He had a bad feeling. Young Hua was very angry after hearing that. The other person was Juno's biological brother. She did not believe that Juno's brother would harm her. Young Hua was very disappointed. She felt that Do-ha had been very lonely lately, so she wanted to come with him on a date. She didn't expect to hear these words as soon as she walked in. Do-ha sighed. He couldn't tell. Young Hua knew that he would die soon. He could only let Young Hua misunderstand him. Young Hua left angrily and happened to meet Juno's brother, who had not yet left. She thoughtfully bought a bandage for him. She also helped him treat his wound. Then she apologized to Juno's brother on behalf of Do-ha. Young Hua was still complaining about Do-ha just now, but now speaks well of him to his brother. Juno's brother is thinking. He asked Young Hua to help him, does something for him. Right now, Do-ha's mind is all about Young Hua's smile like a flower. Young Hua's fierce face when killing him in his previous life, combined with Young Hwa's smile in this life, made him decide that he could not let her enter his heart and harm him, continuing to reincarnate in hell on earth. Young Hwa followed Juno brother's request. She asked Do-ha to go on a trip. His brother said he wanted to leave some memories before Juno died, so he could send his younger brother away without regret. At the same time, his brother emphasized that when the two brothers interact, it is always a bit awkward. He hopes that Young Hwa will use her name to ask Do-ha out. She absolutely did not mention the brother. Young Hwa understood very well the brother's mood and immediately agreed. The next morning, Do-ha came to pick up Young Hwa. He noticed that Yi-sol was in the corner, so he immediately chased after to stop her. Yi-sol looked at him angrily with the recent death of the male idol. Juno was also acquainted with this person, but Juno's name did not appear in the news. On the contrary, Yi-sol had become the subject of investigation, attracting everyone's attention. Miserable Yi-sol. She thought it was Juno's brother who erased Juno's name from the news. Yi-sol warned Do-ha that she would never endure everything alone. Even if she dies, she must find someone to take the blame for her. Do-ha is not afraid of her threats. He will soon make Young Hwa disappear completely. Not long after the two arrived, Young Hwa carrying large bags followed Do-ha. Before she could take a few steps, Do-ha felt sorry for Young Hwa, so he immediately picked up her luggage. They both arrived at the campsite and saw that Juno's brother was also there. Do-ha then realized that he had left. Young Hwa tricked him into coming here. After eating, the two brothers talked privately. The older brother brought water to give to Do-ha. Do-ha drank it without warning. After a while, he felt dizzy and fell down on the ground. His brother decided to eliminate Do-ha and take back Juno's body. As long as he could save his brother, even if he had to kill Young Hwa, he would not hesitate. The brother was completely manipulated by his assistant Cho Hwan. Assistant Cho Hwan said that stone tape is an evil spirit that Young Hwa created. Young Hwa also knows about the existence of stone tape. She is helping the evil spirit take Juno's body and then live a happy life with evil spirit. He completely believed in Assistant Soap's words. After Do-ha fell into a coma, Juno's brother came in front of Young Hwa and forced her to the edge of the cliff. Juno's brother apologizes to Young Hwa for his younger brother, so he is forced to take action against Young Hwa. After all, Young Hwa's past life's karma led to the current situation. Young Hwa was confused and did not understand what the brother meant. At this time Do-ha came and shouted Younghwa name. Younghwa turned to see the other. At the same time his brother pushed her down. She held tightly to the edge of the cliff to avoid falling. Younghwa gradually became exhausted. The scenery also goes back to ancient times. Younghwa was now sitting in her room worried because she was about to marry the enemy who killed her parents. Do-ha felt Younghwa's sadness, so he helped her prepare luggage and showed her a way out for her to find the remaining family and start a new life. Younghwa is worried that after she leaves, he will be punished, and at the same time she also wants to hear Do-ha's sincere words, that he hopes should she stay or leave. Do-ha said that he wanted Younghwa to leave. Younghwa couldn't bear it, so she wanted to bet with Do-ha. Both of them went to the lake. In the middle of the lake, there was a stone road. Just Do-ha, go straight to the other side without turning back. She will agree to leave. On the contrary, Do-ha must admit that he does not want to let Younghwa leave. Do-ha readily agrees. He step by step walks towards. On the other side, seeing that the other person did not turn around, Younghwa panicked and threw a small stone at Do-ha. Do-ha still did not react. Younghwa could only say one sentence, that if he did not turn around, they would end up here. Do-ha cruelly did not turn back. He continued to move forward. Unexpectedly Younghwa hugged Do-ha from behind. This was cheating, but Younghwa did not care that much. She have imagined countless times that if the two of them were not enemies but an ordinary man and woman, they would be many times happier than they are now. But if the two were not in a hostile relationship, they will not meet each other. But in the end, he reluctantly turned back to look at her teary eyes. Younghwa had won the bet. Do-ha wanted to know if she would regret being with him later. She thought he will regret it, but now they have no way back. Hearing Younghwa's answer, he couldn't control his emotions, so he kissed Younghwa. The two of them didn't come home all night. They lay under a big tree to rest. Younghwa sang him a song. Do-ha was immersed in happiness. He held Younghwa's hand and patted his hand. At the same time, Do-ha went to the cliff and held Younghwa's hand tightly. He pulled her to the ground to escape danger. Younghwa hugged Do-ha tightly and thanked him for saving her. Younghwa always considered Do-ha to be her guardian angel. After this time, she was even more certain. Younghwa hugged Do-ha tightly. Going through the life and death moment, she was sure she did not want to leave Do-ha. She prayed to Do-ha to never leave her. After listening, Do-ha hesitated. It seemed like he couldn't personally destroy Younghwa now. Younghwa felt unwell, so she fainted. Do-ha took her to the hospital. Compared to the injuries she suffered, Younghwa was interested in the last sentence that Juno's brother said, that all of this was karma from a previous life. Younghwa did not understand what that meant. Why did his brother know about her past life? She was as he spoke his brother came over. Seeing that Younghwa was okay, he immediately turned around and ran away. Do-ha immediately chased after. His brother had to say that someone told him that only if he killed Younghwa would he be able to save Juno. Do-ha tells him the truth, that even if he harms Younghwa, his younger brother will not come back. The matter of one life for another does not exist. To be more precise, otherwise, if Do-ha had entered Juno's body, Juno would have been a cold corpse. After speaking, Do-ha raised his head to look at Younghwa upstairs. She also heard the conversation between the two. As soon as Do-ha turned around, the brother was left. He went to Assistant Cho-hwan and asked the other person, why you lied to me. Is Juno dead already? Assistant Cho-hwan nodded and sarcastically said, the brother was still holding on to that unrealistic illusion. Assistant Cho-hwan originally thought he could trick the brother into eliminating Younghwa and erasing the mark on his body. But now it seems that the other person is just a trash like Taeju. He got angry and pushed Juno's brother down ground and wanted to kill him. The brother quickly ran away to the elevator, but Assistant Cho-hwan was one step faster, pressed the elevator open, and used a rope to strangle his brother and drag him back to the room. Younghwa, hearing the conversation between the two people, she knew Do-ha was hiding something from her. She kept asking Do-ha to confirm the karma story. Do-ha sighed. For 1,500 years in each lifetime, he helplessly watched Younghwa die in front of him, and without exception, Younghwa in every life died before the age of 30. Perhaps this was God's curse on her. Younghwa did not believe in destiny. She once heard Do-ha say he had a way to lift the curse. She immediately wanted to know the details. He knew he had to kill Younghwa so he could lift the curse, but now he couldn't do anything. He could only tell Younghwa that the only way could not be used. As soon as he finished speaking, the hospital suddenly called to inform him that Juno's brother was in the emergency room. The two of them quickly went to the hospital. From the police they learned that the brother had been seriously injured by someone in the hotel. Now they didn't know if they could continue to live or not. When the two of them were guessing who it was that wanted to kill the brother, the lawyer suddenly appeared. The lawyer knew that Mino had been severely injured and was so scared that he couldn't couldn't speak clearly. The lawyer kept saying that it was that person who did it. Doha remembered that the brother had also mentioned someone incited him to kill Younghua. He quickly stopped the lawyer and asked the lawyer who that person was. Just as the lawyer was about to tell Doha the truth, a flower pot was thrown at the lawyer from above. Doha saw that and immediately pushed the other person away. The lawyer was scared and quickly ran away. Regarding the current situation, Doha suspected that maybe in the curse between the two of them, there was also the existence of a third person that he did not know about. When he arrived, he took the lawyer into the surveillance room. The lawyer confirmed that this guy was Assistant Sok. After seeing the other person's appearance, Doha was extremely confused. Time went back 1,500 years ago to the first night after the marriage ceremony of Younghua and Doha. Doha's adoptive father called Younghua. He wanted to know if she chose to marry the enemy who killed her father because she loved the enemy who killed her father. Younghua was extremely angry. She never forgot this feud. Marrying Doha was also to personally destroy the enemy. The adoptive father felt relieved after hearing that he also had a plan to eliminate his son. Once if the loyal dog disobeys his orders, he cannot keep it anymore. He plans to send Doha to the battlefield after the two get married, then let him die heroically on the battlefield. Younghua came to Doha's room with tears in eyes. Whether they got married or not, it was difficult for them to escape death. He would definitely survive. Back in front of Younghua, on the wedding day, both of them had their own thoughts. They raised their cups of wine to drink. Doha put the lotus seed necklace on Younghua's neck. He promised whether life or death or reincarnation and time changes, then his only wife was Younghua. Younghua woke up from the dream. The agent took her home and then took out the gift that Juno's brother had asked him to give to Younghua. Younghua broke the bracelet when saving Doha. The brother ordered a similar one to be given to Younghua. Younghua suddenly remembered the monk who said that lotus seeds would return to their original owner no matter what. It seems that the monk already knew some of the inside story. To clarify her doubts, Younghua went to the monk. She didn't understand what karma she had committed in her past life to be cursed in this life. The monk didn't say much but just reminded her that perhaps Younghua's feelings for Doha in this life could resolve this continuous reincarnation. On the way home, Younghua remembered every scene with Doha. She soon understood her heart already placed on Doha. Perhaps her love for Doha can break this 1,000-year curse. As soon as Younghua calmed down, the assistant Chou Huan appeared in front of her and smiled sinisterly. Assistant Chou Huan divided Younghua and Doha's relationship. His expression was fierce, and he told her that Doha was reincarnated by Younghua that year, which caused the two people with a bad fate for 1,500 years. Younghua thought about seeing the bruises on Doha's neck and seemed to believe her assistant Chou Huan's words. She felt like she had lost all her strength and weakly collapsed to the ground. She didn't dare to believe that she had harmed Doha. At this time, Doha saw the face of assistant Chou Huan through the surveillance camera. He suddenly realized that there was a third person between him and Younghua. During these years, this person has always been plotting to harm Younghua. Doha gives the lawyer 1 day to investigate the whereabouts of assistant Chou Huan. Doha doesn't know that assistant Chou Huan is suffering unbearable pain. He has a feeling that his time is running out. He had to kill Younghua as soon as possible to end this life. Very quickly, assistant Chou Huan came to Yisou. Doha has finished arranged a lawyer and accidentally saw Younghua bewildered wandering walking on the street. She was even almost hit by a passing car. Younghua saw Doha coming. She felt extremely guilty. She tried her best to stay away from the other person. Doha stopped. Younghua left. He has completely given up the idea of harming her. He just wants to follow his heart. He will try his best to protect Younghua's safety and not let her be in any danger. Doha gave Younghua returned home. He comforted her not to worry about the fact that soon one of them would be killed, because he had found the third person related to the curse of the two of them, that is, Assistant Sok. Younghua expressed surprise and told the truth about Assistant Chou Huan coming to find her today. She also said Assistant Chou Huan already knew their past life identities. Younghua, after finished speaking, she thinking about what Assistant Chou Huan said, that she killed Doha in past life. She immediately walked over and lifted his shirt. After seeing the wound on his neck, her mood immediately hit rock bottom. She heartbrokenly asked Doha if it was very painful when he died. Doha didn't want to remember that unforgettable pain. He said a few words and then left. Younghua looked at Doha's appearance and felt extremely guilty in her heart. She cried bitterly. She swore she would definitely investigate Doha's curse. The two of them are wondering where to start and where to end. Tonight, Younghua dreamed about 1,500 years ago. Doha's adoptive father gave her a poison and told her to mix it with Doha's wine tonight. This colorless and odorless poison can cause his limbs to stiffen, causing his movements to become slower on the battlefield, at which point the personal soldiers the foster father has arranged will take advantage of the chaos, secretly harming Do-ha. The adoptive father did not know that Younghwa's love for Do-ha had overcome the enemy that killed her parents. Younghwa returned to her room and looked at Do-ha, immersed in joy, but she showed worried and sad. Do-ha said that no matter what hell it was, as long as she was by his side, it was okay. Younghwa went to the kitchen to get food for Do-ha. She discovered that there was food next to her that was about to be brought to the foster father of Do-ha room. She chased the servant away and secretly put the poison that was supposed to be used on Do-ha into the wine. At midnight, after waiting for Do-ha to fall asleep, Younghwa held Jade's sword and quietly went to Do-ha's adoptive father's room. When the opponent's limbs stiffened, she immediately killed him. The adoptive father was extremely painful. Before he died, he left a curse on Younghwa that no matter how many lives she was resurrected, he would always find her. He will torment and kill her over and over again. Do-ha suddenly woke up from his dream. After receiving news from the guard, he rushed to his foster father's room. He discovered that his foster father had stopped breathing. Next to him was Younghwa's jade sword. Very quickly, Younghwa was escorted in front of Do-ha. She was not afraid and made up her mind that she would die. She waited for Do-ha to kill her. Do-ha was extremely disappointed and immediately pulled out her sword and pointed it at Younghwa, but he only cut the rope that tied Younghwa. Now his adoptive father is dead. Do-ha declares that he is the master of this family. Then he orders the guards to leave, despite the outrage of everyone he brought. Younghwa left. Do-ha asked his wife why she did such a reckless thing. Younghwa told the truth about Do-ha's adoptive father's plot. She did not want the person she loved to be killed on the battlefield. This time, she decided to endure and go into hell alone to rescue Do-ha. As long as she was captured, Do-ha would of course have nothing to do with this. But Do-ha was already involved. From the moment he fell in love with Younghwa, the two people's fate had begun. Do-ha comforted Younghwa that he would handle everything well. After he comforted Younghwa fell asleep, he took the sword and walked out. Outside the door full of loyal guards of Do-ha's adoptive father, they asked Do-ha to hand over the murderer. Do-ha still fearlessly pulled out his sword to kill all the guards. Younghwa woke up to find that Do-ha had disappeared. On her body was covered in blood. She quickly went back to the palace to find out the news, but she only saw the ground full of the body of the guard. The villagers criticized Do-ha for not only handling the wife who had attacked his adoptive father, but also protecting her. He destroyed all the loyal guards in the palace. Hearing that Younghwa almost fell to the ground, fortunately, Do-ha came to take her away from here. After the government learned about this, they ordered the arrest of Younghwa and Do-ha. They ordered the soldiers to arrest two of them. Do-ha and Younghwa hid everywhere. Younghwa burst into tears in pain. She did not expect things to turn out like this. Originally wanted to save Do-ha, get rid of hell, but she did not expect that she would put him in hell. They had to be cruel to countless innocent people. She did not want to live in such pain anymore. Do-ha comforted his wife that as long as the two of them escaped and returned to Degaya, they could begin Aegean. Do-ha kissed Younghwa, then stood up and killed the soldiers who surrounded them. Younghwa picked up the sword from the ground, and a meaning flashed in her mind. Do-ha once said he was in prison. He wanted Younghwa killed him to help him end everything. She suddenly realized that if the two of them were together, Do-ha would not be able to escape. Younghwa told Do-ha that she loved him and then decided to kill him. Younghwa waking up from the dream, her face was full of tears. She couldn't believe that she killed Do-ha and pushed him into the abyss, so he had to endure 1,500 years of suffering. Younghwa cried bitterly and went to see Do-ha. She kept saying sorry. He confessed that year she killed him. At the same time, assistant Cho Hwan arrived at Do-ha's house's door. Younghwa learned the truth about why she killed Do-ha and cried bitterly. Necessary, she confessed to Do-ha that she wanted to get him out of hell, so she decided to kill him. Both were wrong from the beginning. Do-ha did not agree with Younghwa's thoughts. Because he was with her, he was doomed to fall into hell and suffer the curse. But as lovers, how could she let him go to hell? Younghwa ran out crying. Do-ha chased after him, waiting for 1,500 years. He finally confirmed Younghwa's deep love for him. Now he sees clearly, as long as Younghwa treats him sincerely, he will still love Younghwa, whether in hell or not. Younghwa was about to say something when she happened to meet her best friend. They were both reminiscing about the past. Do-ha accidentally saw assistant Cho Hwan was in the distance. Suddenly his wound hurt so much, he quickly told Younghwa to go home. Quickly, then he chased assistant Cho Hwan. Do-ha looked around but couldn't see the assistant. Suddenly there was a sudden sound of car brakes coming from Younghwa's side. Do-ha rushed over. It It turned out that assistant Chou Huan wanted to attract Doha's attention, then told Yi Sol to push. Yanghua got into the oncoming car. Luckily, her best friend pushed her away, but her best friend was hit by the car and fell to the ground. Yi Sol was urgently arrested for attempted murder. While the lawyer was watching the news, suddenly assistant Chou Huan came here. He told the lawyer to send a sentence to Doha. The father would definitely find his son to take revenge. The lawyer found Doha and told the person what assistant Chou Huan said. Doha suddenly realized that the person behind this was his adoptive father. He had existed on Earth for 1,500 years just to continue killing Yanghua for revenge, and Yanghua did not know so. She went to her father's grave. She prayed to her father who always protected her. This time, Dad must protect her best friend's friends safely from trouble. After Yanghua prayed, she suddenly remembered something. She quickly dug up the soil and took out the wooden box buried in the ground. That is the protective bracelet that her father knitted for her that year. Yanghua took the bracelet and drove to Doha's house. But as soon as she got out of the car, she met her assistant, Chou Huan, who had been waiting for a long time. Assistant Chou Huan confesses his identity as Doha's father, that he has been killing Yanghua for 1,500 years in every lifetime. Today, he would also repeat what happened before. After saying that he intended to attack Yanghua but was pushed away by the amulet, Assistant Chou Huan was extremely shocked. Seeing that he could not get close to her, he could only begin to destroy Yanghua's psychological defense. He sarcastically mocked Yanghua because the curse with Doha led to the death of her parents. Now even her best friend is in danger. This is all karma for the two of them. As long as Yanghua wasn't dead, everyone around her would still be cursed. After all, 1,500 years ago, Doha harmed countless innocent people because of Yanghua. The words he said made Yanghua feel extremely painful. Yanghua immediately said to Doha, Assistant Chou Huan was possessed by his adoptive father. Yanghua was worried about where she and Doha would go. If she lived just one day, the people around her would be in danger. He took her home and wanted to prepare food for her. Yanghua pulled Doha back. She really needed a companion at this time. Yanghua worried that if she didn't die, there would be innocent people involved. 1,500 years ago, in order to save her, Doha harmed the guards in the palace who wanted to block way. Because of saving Yanghua, her best friend was seriously injured. Yanghua is depressed. Her love affair with Doha is destined to be a tragedy. The curse also exhausts Yanghua both physically and mentally. She is not afraid of death. She just hopes the people around her will not because of her, then fell into danger. Doha understood Yanghua's suffering, but in this life he realized that he loved Yanghua very much. He couldn't let Yanghua die. He didn't want to lose the person he loved. He will protect Yanghua and the people around her at all costs. Doha sits next to Yanghua's bed and tells his true feelings. Yanghua pretends to sleep without reacting. Yanghua rests at Do's house. How one night, the next day, she went to the hospital again. Her best friend had woken up. Yanghua excitedly hugged her best friend and kept apologizing. Seeing that her best friend was okay, Yanghua thought back to what her assistant Chou Huan said. As long as Yanghua is still alive, everyone around her will be in danger. Kind-hearted Yanghua cannot put the people around her in danger just by letting her live. Yanghua has an idea. She sat outside in the yard, breathing fresh air and enjoying the bright flavors of nature. She also prepared a special lunch box for her close friends. Then Yanghua brought delicious lunch boxes to visit her colleagues at fire department. She walked around the office and found her own locker. She couldn't help but her eyes turned red. Doha didn't know what Yanghua was thinking. Today he went to assisted. Chou Huan was being possessed by his adoptive father. All these years, he still couldn't understand why his adoptive father kept chasing him. It was clear that at that time, he had been oppressed and suffered extremely by his adoptive father. The adoptive father recalled his anxiety to Doha. Doha was brave and good at fighting, so he was loved by the king. The king told his adoptive father that I did not hesitate to pass the throne to Doha. From then on, his adoptive father was wary of Doha. Then when Yanghua entered the palace, Doha began to rebel against his adoptive father for the sake of the person he loved. His adoptive father was dissatisfied and considered Doha like a puppy he raised, and this puppy must listen to its owner. For the stubborn animal can only teach it a lesson. His adoptive father calmed down but did not explain the reason clearly to Doha. He could not say because he was afraid that Doha would threaten his position. Answering like that, he looked like a coward. The adoptive father emphasized that even if I did not take action, I could still use words to influence Yanghua. In every future life, Yanghua would not be able to escape the fate of death. Looking at the sinister face of adoptive father, Doha grabbed him by the neck and warned, adoptive father, no matter who your soul possessed, I would find and destroy you. Do-ha would not let him become a threat to Young-hwa. The foster father reminded Do-ha that he could stop her from attacking Young-hwa, but could not stop her determination to end her life. After saying that, he immediately took a flower pot and hit Do-ha on the head. Then he took the flower pot next to him and threw it on Do-ha's back. The adoptive father looked pleased. His original plan was to take advantage of the people around, to threaten Young-hwa and push her into the cliff and let her choose to leave the world. Do-ha rushed back to the hospital. The best friend gave Do-ha the relic that Young-hwa asked her to give him, which was a note and amulet. Young-hwa wrote that she wanted to correct her own fate. If at first, when she saved Juno from falling into the Han River, she did not ask for divine protection, but obediently accepted the fate of death, then perhaps tragedy will not happen. Reading this, Do-ha immediately rushed to the Han River. Young-hwa was in the mood to end everything. She sat by the Han River. She couldn't stand everything. The scene of two people talking loudly, laughter echoed in her mind. Young-hwa shed tears. She constantly comforted herself. She did not regret choosing to leave. When she made up her mind to go to the water, Do-ha arrived at the right time and appeared behind Young-hwa. Young-hwa turned her back on Do-ha. She didn't want to be persuaded by him. Do-ha said it wasn't like that. He brought his determination to eliminate Young-hwa to this world, but in the end he was shaken by Young-hwa. Thinking back, he realized that meeting her meant he had chosen the luckiest among the unlucky ones. Do-ha bet on whether Young-hwa could die indifferently. Just like in previous life, Do-ha stepped forward and hugged Young-hwa. Young-hwa revealed her true feelings, that she really didn't want to die. She was worried she would fall in love with Do-ha again, and the tragedy of the past life will recur, but she can't control her heart. She can't stop herself from loving Do-ha. She wants to live with Do-ha. Do-ha makes a promise. He will definitely find a way to change destiny so that both of them can continue to live. After speaking, Young-hwa turned around. Do-ha kissed the person he loved. After both confirmed their feelings, they walked together on the Han River and enjoyed the sweet moment. In this last moment, looking at the sparkling lake surface, Young-hwa suddenly remembered that when she was about to suffocate while trying to save Juno, it was Do-ha who appeared and saved her. Do-ha looked proud and told Young-hwa that he was her guardian angel, and the two kissed more than once. Young-hwa seemed embarrassed, so she turned around and quickly left. When the couple enjoying the happiness, assistant Cho-hwan's body became weaker and weaker. After he drained the souls of passers-by again, he silently vowed to speed up the killing of Young-hwa. One day Do-ha went to the temple to meet the monk. He went straight to the point that he wanted to know how to destroy his foster father's evil spirit. The old master did not directly answer Do-ha, but reminded him that whether it was the stone tape or the devil, they must have obsessions in their hearts, so they are constantly reborn, and do not want to leave this world. As long as he find out what the devil is still entangled in, he can destroy the enemy. Do-ha is enlightened. He left the temple. On the way, while thinking about this, he received a call from the representative. His brother was seriously ill. They were going to the hospital with Young-hwa first. Young-hwa went to the hospital, but the nurse said the brother was fine. She wondered, so she went to the hospital room to investigate and saw Assistant Cho-hwan, who had been waiting here for a long time. Assistant Cho-hwan really wanted to kill Young-hwa, but he couldn't because Young-hwa wore an amulet, so he had to threaten Juno's brother's life. He used a scalpel to stab his brother in front of Young-hwa. Young-hwa rushed forward to use the amulet to block in front of the brother. Then she put on the amulet on Juno's brother's hand and lured Cho-hwan to the stairs. When Young-hwa was about to be caught up by his assistant, Do-ha rushed forward and pushed her into the next hallway. Do-ha alone faced him. Before that, Do-ha listened to the monk's words. Suddenly he realizes his adoptive father's desire to kill Young-hwa before she turns 30. The closer Young-hwa gets to turning 30, the evil spirit of her adoptive father becomes weaker and weaker. He will kill her until Young-hwa's 30th birthday. That's why his adoptive father was very worried and determined to eliminate Young-hwa quickly, and what he had to do was protect Young-hwa until he was 30 years old and solve the 1,000-year curse, even though he later disappeared. Do-ha had no regrets. After speaking, he pushed Assistant Cho-hwan to the ground and escaped from the hospital with Young-hwa. Assistant Cho-hwan was chasing after him endlessly. When just about to catch up with the two of them, a car stopped on the side of the road to pick up Do-ha and Young-hwa. Assistant Cho-hwan could only watch the two escape. Then he went to the hospital to settle the matter with Juno's brother, but he discovered that Young-hwa's best friend and agent had already taken Juno's brother to the ambulance. He angrily drove after them, but eventually lost sight of the ambulance. The lawyer took Do-ha and Young-hwa to safety city and advised the two to temporarily hide. The lawyer will also escape to a place where assistant Cho Huan cannot be found. It turns out that what the lawyer is talking about is prison. He went to the police station to report the crime and revealed that the assistant Cho Huan was the murderer who injured Juno's brother. The lawyer confessed to the police that he killed Taeju, but the lawyer did not expect that he had just been arrested. Assistant Cho Huan came to the place. He killed many prison guards and went to the cell just to find out where Young Hwa was. The cowardly lawyer was worried that assistant Cho Huan would kill him, so he just had to say where Young Hwa was going. At this time, Do-ha and Young Hwa had already gone to a remote area. Young Hwa was tired and fell asleep in the car. Do-ha held her hand. He suddenly saw her dream. After Young Hwa killed Do-ha, she was in extreme pain and put a knife to her own neck. Do-ha suddenly spoke up to stop her. He begged Young Hwa not to die but to live well. Young Hwa broke down and cried, she no longer having the courage to draw the sword. Young Hwa slowly woke up and looked at Do-ha with red eyes in front of her. She held his hand and begged him not to leave her. After that, the two of them lived happily together forever. Do-ha was a bit confused. He protected Young Hwa until her 30th birthday, and then he would also leave. But at this moment, facing Young Hwa with burning eyes, he did not tell the truth. A few days later, the two lived in a remote countryside. They live a normal and happy life as a couple. They go shopping together and wear cheap couple rings together, but they don't pay attention to the cow assistant Cho Huan who chased them to this place. In the evening, people gathered together to congratulate Young Hwa on her 30th birthday. Suddenly, the room lights went out and assistant Cho Huan appeared in front of everyone with a gloomy expression. He rushed in front of the table and slashed the cake and rushed towards the Do-ha. The two fought together. Young Hwa's best friend quickly took Young Hwa out the back door. Assistant Cho Huan pushed Do-ha down on the table. He was about to stand up, but a heavy object fell from the roof. Not unconscious, assistant Cho Huan ignored Do-ha and picked up a weapon to look for Young Hwa. At this time, her best friend discovered that the car key was dropped in the house. Young Hwa could only tell her best friend to wait for her. Then she returned to the house to get the key. When Young Hwa left, her best friend suddenly noticed a dark shadow rushing towards her, and her screamed in fear. When she looked closer, she discovered that it was Juno's older brother had woke up, looked at the amulet that Young Hwa put on him and burst into tears. Then he drove to find Do-ha and Young Hwa. Unexpectedly, they were only halfway through when they saw the scene of assistant Cho Huan slashing Young Hwa with a weapon. Junie's brother rushed to stand in front of Young Hwa. Assistant Cho Huan was knocked out by the amulet. Cho Huan watched the broken amulet fall to the ground and burst into laughter, knowing there was no more amulet to protect Young Hwa. So Cho Huan lifted the scissors and wanted to kill her. Luckily, Do-ha arrived in time to stand in front of Young Hwa. Do-ha reluctantly pulled the scissors out of Cho Huan's hand and pushed him to the ground. Assistant Cho Huan laughed maniacally and taunted Do-ha. You clearly knew you was about to die, but why fight to protect Young Hwa? Once I dies, you will have no reason to exist. You will also disappear with me. Young Hwa then understood that Do-ha in 1500 last year, becoming the stone tape by her side, was to protect her from being harmed. Assistant Cho Huan, this is also the reason Do-ha became the stone tape. Young Hwa's eyes were red. She hugged Do-ha tightly and didn't let him leave. Do-ha reluctantly removed Young Hwa's hand and rushed towards assistant Cho Huan, then killed him. Then Do-ha weakly fell into Young Hwa's arms. Before Do-ha died before his eyes, as if a light flashed by, memories of 1,500 years appeared. Two people met and fell in love. They lived a normal and happy life together. Do-ha smiled, even though his long life was full of misfortune, but since meeting Young Hwa, he finally felt happy. Young Hwa looked at Do-ha about to disappear and cried, extremely heartbroken. Not long after, Young Hwa woke up in a hospital bed while she was in a coma. Do-ha entered her dream. He told Young Hwa that the moon would also rise during the day. It's just that people don't notice. He would turn into the moon in the sky and shine for Young Hwa. He would stay with her forever. After Young Hwa woke up, her best friend told her that today was Juno's funeral. Tears immediately fell from her eyes, but a miracle happened at this time. Juno should have been in the morgue but was completely normal at his own funeral. Young Hwa received the news and rushed to the funeral home. She hugged Juno back from the underworld. Juno looked surprised at the strange girl in front of him, seeing that the other person didn't recognize her. Young Hwa felt a little sad. She left the funeral home. After Juno woke up, he was gone. Memories of this time, the beautiful memories of the two people were forgotten by Juno. Younghwa couldn't hold back her tears while sitting at the bus stop. In the blink of an eye, it was a year later. During this 1 year, Juno underwent chemotherapy. The cancer is gradually being cured. He will also devote himself to filming television. Juno returns to his old life, but one thing makes him full of doubts. Every morning when he wakes up, he will always think of the name Younghwa. Juno longs to find his lost memories. His brother advises him that sometimes losing your memory is a good thing. If you can't remember, don't force it. Seeing that his brother refused to say anything more, Juno didn't ask any more questions. One day, Juno randomly found a box at home, which contained a photo of him and Younghwa together. Juno took the photo and asked his brother. His brother explained that Younghwa saved him and became Juno's bodyguard. Now she has returned to work at the fire station and continues her usual job. Hearing his brother say that Juno remembered that Younghwa had twisted his arm, Juno, immediately curious about Younghwa. Every time he had painful chemotherapy, he had the intention of giving up, but at this moment a voice appeared in his heart and encouraged him to never give up. He must continue to live. Juno felt that the voice belonged to Younghwa. She was the one who helped him overcome his illness. Juno wanted to meet Younghwa no matter what. Seeing Juno's serious face, his brother arranged to meet Younghwa at the temple. Juno immediately called Younghwa from behind. Hearing his voice, Younghwa's eyes turned red. He turned to look at her. Juno wanted to know what the relationship between the two of them was. He discovered there are many strange things about himself. For example, he will use a strange tone to talk. Juno seems suspicious. Only the representative next to him knows that is Do-ha's way of talking. Besides that, he always thinks to Younghwa. Younghwa lied that she was just a fan who saved Juno. So Juno thanked Younghwa for rescuing him. From now on, he will no longer be curious about his relationship with Younghwa. He will enjoy life and start a new life. After saying that he took out the things he found at home, he gave the letter that Do-ha wrote to her. Younghwa went to the Han River to read the content of the letter. It was filled with Do-ha's sincerity and love for Younghwa. He hoped she could live strong. Younghwa hugged the letter in her heart. She understood Do-ha's kindness. At the same time, she whispered, swearing in her heart that she would definitely live well. Younghwa looked at the dim moon in the middle of the day. She firmly believed that Do-ha would always protect her. Today was Younghwa's birthday. She was celebrating her birthday with her friends. She continued her work in daily life, occasionally releasing a wish lantern hoping to see her lover again. With this wish, she will live her life to the fullest every day and not let Do-ha's sacrifice go in vain. Younghwa always wanted to go to the Antarctic research station. Finally her wish came true. She boarded the plane to Dreamland. Younghwa rested on the plane. Do-ha, after a long absence, came to her dream. In the dream, she changed her choice in her previous life. Younghwa said I love you to Do-ha, then put down the weapon in her hand. She did not attack Do-ha, but rushed into his arms. Younghwa knew this was just a scene in her dream. The past life had happened, so she could not change it. She can only change the past choice in the dream. At least let the lovers be together in the dream. Do-ha hugged Younghwa. Suddenly, arrows shot from around the two of because of that. So stop wrath. Younghwa secretly hoped that they would definitely meet again in the next life. God seemed to have heard Younghwa's prayers. In her next life, she transformed into a student taking pictures at a temple. She was attracted by the moon in the middle of the day, so she wanted to take some beautiful photos, but she accidentally tripped backwards. Then she was caught by another guy. The guy looked exactly like Do-ha. Younghwa thanked him. Both looked at the dim moon in the sky and started talking to each other. The distance between the two of them was shortened. In this life, they definitely received a happy ending belongs to them. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching all the videos. Goodbye and see you again in the next exciting episodes on the channel.